Hey, what's up friends? Moses here from Driver Success. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I just want to give you an idea of how local work works. So let's say this right here, don't mind my drawing, but let's just assume this is the USA, right? So when we talk about over-the-road driving, what we mean is people who drive all over the 48 states. So they may get a load from here, it goes up there, and then they get another load coming down here, and then they get one going there, and then they get one coming here, and then they get one going there. You get the idea. They are all over the United States. That is OTR, over the road, 48 states. And then you have some that just drive regional. So for example, they may just drive this part of the country. They only drive from California. They go maybe to Oregon, Washington, maybe a little bit of there and then there. They're just within that part of the country. Maybe some are just within this part of the country, like Texas and maybe Oklahoma or some states around here. Then you have those that are in the Northeast, maybe those that are down here. So they just drive part of the country. They don't drive all over the place. And then you have those that just drive locally. Like, for example, I'm in Texas. Say this is Texas right here, right? I'm somewhere around here where you have the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth area. So all I do is drive within DFW. And today I just want to show you what the difference is. So I'm just going to show you how the local work goes and then compare it to the regional and compare it to OTR. So right now it's exactly 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1400, and I just got here at work. I'm done with my pre-trip and getting all my stuff set up. It's now time to head to the office, get my paperwork. Because I have the drive app, I already know what I'm gonna be doing. I have a load going to Fort Worth. I believe that's gonna be a live unload, and then I also have a load coming out of Fort Worth coming back here to the rail. But right now I'm just gonna go see my manager, get my paperwork, and then I head to the rail to pick up my load. It's 2:30. I'm leaving the yard to go pick up my load from the rail, head over to Fort Worth. So I'm having a problem with both of these. Like they can't go in because it's like the container is seated on them right there. It's both of them, even this one. And so I can't use my hands just to hit them in. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a hammer and just hit them so they can turn in. In doing intermodal work, I've found that there are some basic things that you need as tools. One of those is gonna be the hammer. One down. Right now it's 3 o'clock and I'm leaving the yard. It's 3:44, just arrived at my first stop. I'm gonna go check in. I got here at 3:44. Right now it's 6:50. They are taking really longer than I expected because that is more than 2 hours. Last time I was here, I think they took like an hour or 1.5 hours. This is my second time to be here. But they always have us drop the container, unhook, and then come park outside. So since it's been more than 2 hours, I just want to go back in and see if I can talk to somebody, ask them how long it's going to be. So usually we do drops and hooks. Every now and then we do get a live unload or live load. And usually it takes less than 2 hours, but there are some times when it takes more than that. So like right now, it's been more than 2 hours. So I need to go in there and see if they can at least give me an ETA so I can have an idea of how long I'm going to be here and I can let dispatch know. So I'm going to go check in and see. I'm in door 44, JB Hunt.
Is that JB Hunt unloaded, do you know, in 44, Natasha? Okay, thank you. My supervisor is going to take a look and show it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I just checked with them and it's going to be probably about an hour. They haven't yet started on me. They're kind of catching up with the load. So I still have an hour. So that means I'll get out of this place around 8 o'clock. Hopefully not 8 o'clock. So it was coming to 7 o'clock when they told me it's going to take an hour for them to get me unloaded. Right now, the time is 8:35, which is 1.5 hours from the time they told me it was going to take an hour. So that's 30 minutes more. So it looks like this was the wrong day for me to choose to show you what we do as local drivers. Like, I wanted to show you how long it takes for the load to pick up and then deliver, and then how many loads I have. I wanted to show you all that stuff. So it's not really going to give you a good idea of what the usual day goes by, because most of the time I do drop and hooks. But on the other hand, I'm glad this also happened, because you never know, every day is different. And so at least this gives you an idea to show you how things can really take a different turn. This is load number 1, and I'm here for all these hours. So from the time I've been here, you just take off 1.5 hours. We don't get paid for that 1.5 hours, but everything after that, I get paid for it. So yes, I'm being paid by the hour, but you make more money, you know, like picking up and dropping, because that is like every time you pick up or drop, that is $25. And in addition, you are moving, which you get paid by the miles. But right now, I'm just seated. I'm being paid by the hour, so I'm not getting the miles and those pick up and drops. So we'll see how it turns out. But at least it gives you an idea that sometimes our days don't go as planned. Now, if you look the other side, you will see that there are some trucks parked there. And most of those drivers out there are over-the-road drivers or regional drivers, which means that right now they are seated, they are just doing the same thing, waiting for these guys to finish. Now, where that can hurt over-the-road drivers and regional drivers is sometimes you've planned your day, you are thinking you're going to come in, have them unload you or load you within maybe like an hour or 2 hours, get out of the place. You've already planned, maybe you are going to sleep in a certain place, and all of a sudden they disorganize your hours at a customer's place. And so you may find yourself that you are running out of hours, or you have to spend that night right here because you can't drive. And so some of these guys that are here, you may find that they're going to run out of hours. They will have to wait until they get hours again for them to start moving again. Most of these guys here are being paid by the miles because they are over-the-road drivers or regional drivers. So when that truck is just seated right there and they are not driving that truck, they are not really making not making money. So it can be a setback for over-the-road drivers. Yes, it's kind of a setback for me, but not as much as an over-the-road driver. One of the advantage I have is at the end of the day, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna sleep in my bed. But some of these guys, they may be stuck right here on the road, and so they are going to stay right here. They can't take a shower. Some of them, they may not have been able to get a good meal. The good thing is they are bobtail, they can maybe go somewhere, get something to eat. But those are the challenges that you face as somebody that is over the road versus somebody that is a local driver like I am. When I was planning on this video, one of the things that I really wanted to show you is that as a local driver, there is some work involved as opposed to driving over the road and regional. And what I wanted to show you was that we make different stops, and every time you stop, you have to get out, unhook, put the landing gear down, unhook, hook to an empty, go to another stop. We have like drops and hooks. So there is some work involved by hooking and unhooking, also driving in traffic. When it comes to people that drive like over the road and regional driving, they spend most of their time on the road. So for example, they will get a load, maybe it has maybe 800 miles or 1500 miles. So from the time they get that load, they're going to hit the road. And if they get good miles, it's going to take them maybe 2 or 3 days to get to their destination. When they get to that destination, most of the time, maybe it's just opening doors, back up to the dock, get unloaded or loaded, close the doors, hit the road again. They don't spend a lot of time, like hooking and unhooking. Well, as I do that like maybe 4 or 5 times in a day, like hooking and unhooking, as a regional driver or over the road driver, you spend most of the time driving. Even in local work, there are differences, because for me, as an intermodal driver, I don't do as much work as somebody else who may be doing LTL. LTL involves a little bit more stops. I don't do maybe more work like people that touch freight. There are some people that maybe deliver to, say like maybe grocery stores or to food places where they have to touch the freight. They have to load and unload. Some of LTL companies also do that, loading and unloading. When it comes to tankers, yes, there's also some work involved, because you have to, like to get the pipes and then put them in the hole and do all that stuff. I don't know so much about tankers, but I think there's also some work involved. So local drivers do a little bit of more work than regional or over-the-road drivers. But again, at the end of the day, we get to go home. People that are over the road or drive regional, they kind of spend their days, their nights on the road. Those are the differences. What I wanted to show you really was like how many times we do drops and hooks. But as I said, things did not turn out the way I thought they were gonna turn out. But I'm glad it also didn't work out that way, because it gives you an idea for you to see that every day is different. Things change. You get into traffic, you're delayed by construction, you get tire blowouts, you get delayed by shippers or receivers. I hope you get the idea of the difference between people that drive as local drivers and those that drive regional or over the road. As you can see, I have my container right there. The time is 9:30. I have my paperwork. I'm just going to send in my loaded call and I'm going to get out of here. My pickup, hopefully still on, is not very far from here. I'm going to try and see if I can get in 2 more loads. That will put me around maybe midnight or so. We'll see. So I just made it to my pickup. It's 9:50 right now. I'm gonna check in. Dispatch hasn't yet dispatched me, but I'm gonna start the check-in process. So right now the time is 22:10 and I have my load. It's right there. I'm gonna check out here as soon as they're done with that guy in front of me. Now the trick is to let dispatch know that I need a pre-plan on me. So I just sent them a message asking them what my pre-plan is. That way by the time I get to the yard, to the rail, I don't have to wait for a pre-plan. So always you want to stay on top of your stuff. When you don't have a pre-plan, ask them ahead of time. So like right now, I just sent them a message asking them what's my pre-plan, so that by the time I get there, I already know what I'm picking up. Okay, so I've just run into another problem. Right now, there's a problem with my load because for some reason it was sealed and it had bills in there. So when I was trying to check out, when they gave me the paperwork and the guard came to put on the seal, there was a seal. So they have right now they've asked me to pull over on the side so they can figure out what's wrong with the load. So I think this is a good video to show you some of the challenges that you can face, how your day can really just get messed up. So right now, I don't know how long it's gonna take them to look into this issue, but I'm waiting. When I left that place to come here, I was all pumped up. I'm like, let me go do my pickup, run back to the rail, maybe put in 2 more short loads. I was pumped up, but this situation right here has just caused me to just lose all the morale. It has taken out all the air from my balloon. Right now I feel like that excitement is no longer there. I just feel like I don't know how long it's gonna take, but probably when they're done, I'll just put in one more load. I need to get to fill up my tank. Right now the time is 10:31, so according to the GPS, I'll get at the yard at around 11:15. So by the time these guys are done and driving back to the yard, what a day. It's 10:43, I'm ready to go. So right now it's 12:10, I'm back at the yard. I have just been able to do only 2 loads. That live unload where I was delayed and the pickup I made. I told them to find me a pre-plan, but they didn't get me one. So I went to Pilot, filled up my truck, came, dropped off the load at the rail, and they hadn't yet found me a pre-plan. I didn't want to bother with them. I had already lost the morale for another load. It's already 12 o'clock, so I figured if they're not finding me something, maybe they're busy or they don't have anything. I didn't bother, like begging them for another load. So it's 12:10, I'm done for the day, I'm ready to go home. Unfortunately, this day didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. But on the other hand, I'm glad it worked out this way so that you guys can know that yes, there are some days that are really, really bad. Like for me, this day has been really a lousy day. 2 loads, no miles, so it's been a lousy day, but that's what trucking sometimes is. You have good days, you have bad days. So I take this in relationship to trucking, to my work. I take this as a lousy day. Not saying that the day has been lousy for me, because I choose to look at many positive things. So I'm not talking in terms of my general day, I'm talking in terms of my work day. It's been a lousy day, but the fact that I'm breathing, the fact that I'm alive, it's a great day. Some people are in hospital, some people have no jobs. So I always want to look at the blessings that I have. So for that reason, I'm glad that I get to go home to a beautiful wife, beautiful kids. What more can you ask? God is good to me.